Defend our carrier. Enemy carrier's been marked.
Carrier kill. Reversal.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Dar here. I'm back in another video, and today I'm doing a tips and tricks how to aim in Halo 5 video. I've been wanting to make this video for a really long time now because it's something I feel like I've struggled with personally, and I thought that was really hard to do. I feel like Halo 5 is the hardest Halo game to aim in since Halo Reach. Personally, I feel like every other Halo game is pretty easy to aim in, at least for me anyways. So I'm going to just get right into it, guys. So these are tips that I built upon as me playing. I showed you guys the clips in the beginning of the video, not to brag at all, but just to show you how much my aim has improved by following these tips and listening to all these different people and kind of finding out the reasons why they said these certain things. And I really tried breaking it down to as much science, not like a science, but as much as I could, because I feel like there are a lot of good aiming videos, but they don't really explain why you should do these certain things and stuff like that, or they don't really go super in depth, and there are like huge holes that I was missing personally in terms of my aim. So I really want to make a video just to help everyone out. So the first thing I learned, which is actually from a YouTuber named Proximity, I'll link him in the description. He said, focus on an inner circle when you shoot, right? With the pistol. With the DMR, there's also one too in the BR. So there's like a big circle on the outside and there's an inner circle, which really helps you aim at a distance. From close range, it doesn't really matter because if he's in that pistol circle, point blank, you're going to hit him either way. So from a distance, it really helps to focus on that inner circle and try putting the guy you're trying to gun from that distance in that inner circle. That's if you're not scoped in, because when you're scoped in, if you notice, it actually zooms into that inner circle. The whole circle will just become kind of almost one circle, and I'm saying circle so many times, but if you guys aim with a pistol, you'll zoom in and see that, you know, it becomes basically the smaller circle, because that's what they want you to focus on, and it'll give you a bit more range and, like, you know, auto aim and stuff like that. So that was one really big tip that I focused on for distance pistol fights, and that helped me a lot. If I wasn't scoped in, if I was just kind of hip firing counter from a medium distance, that helped me a decent amount, but I still kind of was confused. I'm like, wait, like, I don't know, my aim didn't feel like I was getting any better. It felt like it was slightly better, but it wasn't 100%, you know, it wasn't the best it could be. So another big thing that I think is one of the major points of aiming in any FPS on Xbox, pretty much if you're using like a semi-auto gun or even an automatic, I really feel like don't peg your stick. Don't peg. Did I say? Okay, I thought I said pay. Don't pay your stick. Don't peg your stick. If you guys don't know what pegging is if you and also Proximity, he said this in the video. I heard this from plenty of other people too. Pegging sticks. I heard it from pretty much everyone in terms of aiming or who makes tips videos. I even heard it from pros and stuff like that, like Frosty and stuff. But pegging your stick is letting your analog stick get all the way to the right. Like, it's a circle that your analog stick rests in, and if you move your analog stick all the way to the very edge of it and you hear that kind of clicking sound, that's pegging your stick. So when you're aiming, you want to keep that really as still as possible. You want to kind of keep your thumb floating in between that circle. You don't want to ever jolt to the right side or anything, because that's going to send your aim just wiggly waggly flying off one side, right? And the reason why they added like the thrust mechanic in Halo 5 is really because they kind of want people to get thrown off by, you know, strafes even more. So when someone thrusts, you really can make someone peg their stick and they can overcompensate, you know, more than they want to, or, you know, just kind of not really know where you're going to go, so they'll peg and overcompensate in one direction. And that's why a lot of people win gunfights off of thrusting at a certain, you know, a certain point in the gunfight, which I'll get to later. But that's really what thrusting is really good for in Halo 5, and that's why a lot of people will complain about aim in this game, because when they thrust, they peg so hard to the point where their aim is off, and it's really hard to hit that headshot when the guy's soaring to the side. But personally, what I do to counter that, when someone thrusts in a gunfight, really, I mean, there's not like you can't hit necessarily every single shot while the guy is thrusting, especially if he jumps to the right and like thrusts to the left. But you really have to do your best to not peg your stick and just kind of predict where he's going to land, or kind of predict when that thrust is going to slow him down. You're not really going to hit every single shot while he's thrusting, you know. And you could also do a counter thrust to yours. Also, but when that person is thrusting, they can't shoot at you either. So you can kind of use that time to slow down your shot, which I'll get to later. So I'll kind of go into that. Kind of leads into the next big topic of aiming in Halo 5, which is pacing your shot. And I'll put an example up on the screen here too. Pacing your shot, you know, when you want to pace your shot you know, at certain times. You don't always want to just spam your pistol as fast as possible. I saw a guy, he literally had 42 subs on YouTube, and he made one of the best aiming videos and tips videos I've ever heard or ever seen. Because all he said in the video, he just had one gameplay where he was just running around with a pistol, just spamming his magnum every second. He even got his reticle close to the guy. He didn't even have auto aim on the guy. He just spammed his pistol no matter what. And he was showing his accuracy. I forgot what he got that game, but it was a really bad accuracy. Then he played the next game, and he showed it in the same video. And he showed that if you slow down your shot and this may sound crazy, a lot of people say this is so obvious, but a lot of people, if they look back at their gameplay, you'll be like, wait, I do that a lot. And I look back at my really old Halo 5 gameplays, I noticed I did that so much, where I would just spam my trigger the second I even got my crosshair even near the guy. So all accuracy is in Halo 5, or all accuracy is in general, is, you know, basically it's how many bullets you hit divided by how many bullets you put out there. So if you don't put as many bullets out there, just by spamming it at the air, you know, around the dude, if you actually took your time and put the crosshair over the guy, then pull the trigger, that helps a lot. You guys wouldn't believe me, like, how much that tip helped me out, how much that tip helped me out in general. Just slowing down my shot, letting the guy jump into my reticle, or letting me readjust the aim again, you know? Because I feel like a lot of people, when they're just spamming the pistol, they're not really taking time to readjust their aim. They're just spamming and hoping the guy is there, you know? And the biggest problem I had, I would always use my pistol and shoot it, and I would always have, like, I would always get last shot medals, or always run out of ammo in gunfights, because I was spamming my pistol so much in that gunfight prior. So it's really about conserving your bullets for the next gunfight, and also using as least bullets. You want to try going for that 5-shot every single time, or at most you want to use like 7 bullets, but you don't want to just spam your pistol shots at the air when the guy's not even in your crosshair. I feel like I see a lot of people do that. A lot of people do that to me online. They don't even, like, I'm strafing and they're not hitting me. They're shooting at the side of me, and they'll shoot 2 or 3 bullets on the left of me, and then they'll run out of ammo in the gunfire or something if it drags on way too long. So I feel like pacing your shot is such an important thing, and I'll link all this stuff in the description that helped me out. And I really feel like that's such an obvious thing. Like, let your, you know, crosshair drift into the guy first, or aim with your right stick a little bit, non-pegging obviously. Let it go on the guy, then shooting, like, then shoot your bullet. It helped me so much and helped my accuracy skyrocket. I'm not even joking to you guys. If you guys probably look back at my older gameplays, I spam my pistol so fast just at the air. I don't really have my target necessarily acquired. And when I say like target acquired, I mean in the sense where I have my cursor over him. I have my cursor really almost on him to the point where it's red, or I'll get bullet magnetism. So I see a lot of people just spam pistol shots around the people, and they don't have any magnetism or anything. It's just kind of in that general area, kind of like suppressing fire. But your accuracy is going to be really low if you do that. So just sometimes slowing down your shot, that helps a lot. Obviously, you don't want to do it all the time. I mean, if you're both medium range and you have good consistent pistol shots on the guy's not moving around too much, I mean, just go ahead, 5 them if you can. But keep in mind, make sure your reticle's on him when you're pulling the trigger. Obviously, don't just rush into a shot and blow an extra few shots off, you know, just trying to even touch the guy. You're gonna end up wasting your ammo. And if a guy pushes you after that gunfight, you know, you're going to be pretty much screwed because you're reloading or something. So, and it's really weird. I don't know what it is, but I've noticed my gunfights is going up way more by pacing my shots and slowing down my shot. And I don't know what it is about, like, our minds or something when we shoot in Halo. I don't know why I'm making such a psychological thing, but it's like, I feel like when you're just spamming shots, but, you know, when you're spamming shots, you're so crazy and hectic, your mind is just racing at 1,000,000 miles per minute. Like, you don't know what to do. Like, you're just focusing on so much things, and you just start spamming shots, you know? I don't know, it's so weird. I've noticed I've won so many more gunfights just pacing my shots versus people who just spam it. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because it's like in a more controlled, you know, you see it more controlled on your screen. Like when you shoot a pistol, it's like you see the muzzle flare. Maybe that makes you nervous. I don't know what it is. I can't even explain that part, but I've noticed I've won so many more gunfights pacing the shots and just letting my reticle go on the guy first, then shooting him. I don't know what that is, but in Halo 5 it seems really prominent. You know, obviously in all the Halo games this works to a certain extent, but they all have different bullet magnetisms and all that stuff, and Xbox 360 controller is different, but I'll get to that at the end of the video. So the next thing is number 4, I guess, is strafing without leaving the ground. You know, I've noticed a lot of people jump, especially me. I jump into gunfights a lot. I just soar there. Like, I don't know what I'm doing half the time. I feel like I just jump into a gunfight and I'm like, you know, just, it's weird. Like, when, you know, if you look at a lot of tips videos, they say strafe with your pistol shots, like strafe with the opponent, right, and do stuff like that. But a lot of things, you know, nobody ever says is when you jump, you're pretty much like a static tank. You don't move. I saw Luke the Notable's video. I'll honestly link all this in the description, but he said when you don't move, right, that's the hardest to aim, and that's a true fact. I've been doing that since I started playing Halo. No one really taught me that. It was kind of in muscle memory. Like, you don't stand still in Halo and shoot, really, because it's making it harder for yourself to aim because you're just using 100% of the right stick. So that was kind of always in my muscle memory, but when I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, that is true. But one thing that I always do in Halo 5 especially, I'm jumping places, or I jump around a corner or soar, or like thrust slide around a corner, I'm in the middle of the air. When you're jumping, you're a static tank. You can't strafe in midair in Halo. You can slightly, but it doesn't affect it to the point where you're going to be hitting shots. So you're pretty much a tank in air. Like, you're only using the second you jump in Halo, you're using like pretty much 100% right stick. So if you're doing that at the beginning of a gunfight, one, like, you're gonna have the opponent just easy shots on you. It's an easy trajectory. When you jump in Halo, people know where you're gonna land. It's pretty obvious unless you thrust. But most of the time, if you're just jumping and no thrust, it's a pretty obvious path that you're gonna fly on, and people could just 5 you. And that's why I noticed I lost a lot of gunfights in the past, because I just jumped around corners all the time. One thing I really started doing is just kind of staying on the ground a little bit more in my gunfights, actually strafing, making the opponent get their shots thrown off. So I could actually, you know, have a chance in the gunfight. If I'm just jumping at the beginning, I'm not gonna have a chance if the guy has 2 perfect shots or 3 perfect shots on me, while I'm sitting here just in the middle of the air jumping, maybe get one, maybe I got like 1 shot on the dude. So that really helped me a lot in my gunfights. If you look at a lot of pros, even in Halo 3, I looked at Snipe Down. I used to look at so many pro gameplays, even in Halo 5. If you leave the ground, I really broke this down to the point where it's like you should leave the ground or jump in a gunfire or a thrust or do whatever movement to dodge bullets that kind of save your life. If you get down to like 25% shields, I would say about 25 to 35% of your shields, if they're gone, that's when I would recommend jumping up in the air in a gunfight. Kind of like you're almost weak. I feel like when you're at 25% shields, people are they're gonna keep expecting you to stay on the ground like you have for most of the gunfight. But if you jump, I feel like that really throws off their aim or thrust or do whatever. They're like, oh, he's weak, and they have to readjust their aim to finish you off. And I feel like that throws off a lot of people, especially if you do it. You don't have to do it necessarily every time, but it really helps me win a lot more gunfights, I feel like, or it throws off their aim at the last minute. Sure, like I said before, you cannot strafe in the air at all. But I feel like those last 2 shots, if you're jumping, a lot of times people jump with you in the air too, and it'll help you get the kill faster. But I feel like those last 2 shots or those last few shots are very easy to finish in the air. You know, I don't know specific details on why that is, but that's what really helped me a lot. So the 5th tip, I guess, is aim for the upper chest or any part of, or the widest part of a Spartan you can see. I say this because, you know, not every single time you're going to be able to see the person's chest, you know what I mean? Like, there's sometimes where you just see their back, or there's sometimes where you just see, you know, kind of, it's like their head, you know, just aim at the widest part of that person that you can see. I try to do that every single time. And then kind of, you know, kind of work your way up to the head by pacing your shots too. Another thing is, you know, pre-aim an area. If you know there's a guy in, like, for example, on Coliseum, if you know there's a guy at top rockets, instead of looking at the ramp as you're walking up it or looking over at top snipe, look top rockets, because if you get a call out there, look up there and you'll get a few extra shots on him, maybe if he's looking in a different direction. So that helped me a lot. And I guess the final tip is believe in your shot. You know, a lot of people look at like pros and stuff like that and be like, oh man, I'll never have as good as aim as them and stuff like that. And I did not have that mentality when I was just trying to improve my aim really for the past few months here. You know, I really believe that I could shoot just as well as Snipe Down. I could shoot just as well as Frosty, just as well as Snakebite, just as well as Royal too, and all that stuff. And you really have to believe in yourself. And a lot of people will say, oh, you're arrogant, dude. You think you can shoot as good as Snipe Down and stuff like that? I no joke. I went on Halo 5 Arena, which is a website where you could check your accuracy down to the weapon. of pros and of yourself, and I just compared myself to Snipe Down and Huke and Frosty and all these pros, even some of my friends who had really good accuracy. I compared myself to them, and I tried shooting just as well as them, and you could actually see the accuracy. I think there's Huke, he shoots like a 58% accuracy with the Magnum on average in what he plays. Sure, he's playing against a lot of high-ranked people too, but I also play against champion-level free-for-all players and high-level Team Arena players too, but if you play against, it's kind of different when you play against high-level people because they're strafing a lot more and stuff like that, but the more you play against them, the more you'll get used to their strafes and stuff like that. But a lot of low-level people, they don't strafe, just kind of walk forward, so your accuracy may tend to be higher there. But if you really want to test your accuracy, play against really good people. That helps a lot, and and doing it consistently helps. So you could really go on Halo 5 Arena and compare your stats to your favorite pros. I compared myself mainly to Snipe Down because I feel like he has the best shot in Halo. Honestly, one of the best shots in Halo history. And he was shooting like a 62% or 63% accuracy with the Magnum and stuff like that. So I really tried aiming for at least shooting in the 60s. I also had a friend who almost shot like 70 and stuff like that. It was crazy. And, I was working at it for months and months. It's taking all these tips into consideration. And, I was just trying to improve my shot by, not necessarily comparing. I mean, comparing yourself is good, but it's also bad. Like, if you compare yourself to people, don't do it in a way, like, I'm trying to explain it. Like, don't do it in a sense where, like, don't get discouraged if you don't reach that accuracy in, like, 5 games. You know what I mean? It took me, honestly, weeks to not even perfect my accuracy. I feel like I'm still getting better at aiming, but to really improve my accuracy a great amount. So, don't get discouraged in that sense. But, I think now with the Magnum I'm pretty much shooting like 64, like pretty much, I'm shooting very well with the Magnum. I feel like I consistently shoot almost 70 with it every single game. I think on Halo 5 Arena for this season, which is kind of my season when I was fixing my accuracy, and for most of the season I would say my accuracy was, I kind of finalized, and I'm like, wow, these are the things that I did to get better. So I think I'm shooting like a 62 or 63% accuracy with the Magnum, which is the same thing that Snipe Down was shooting. And in some of the playlists, I'm actually shooting like a 65, and even like I think a little bit higher than that. So my Magnum accuracy definitely improved by me following these tips. I hope I explained that well enough for you guys in this video. I kind of was all over the place. If you guys want something to explain more in detail, just leave a comment down below. But this was really an important topic for me to talk about. I really it's kind of like not like a self-discovery thing, but like just kind of like learning for myself what can I improve on without kind of piecing together all the tips videos and what they meant, because I didn't take them at face value because some of them weren't working for me. I was like, what am I doing wrong here? Why does he want me to do this? And I kind of wanted to break that down in this video. I hope it wasn't like too long of a video because I don't know how many people really have the patience to sit here and listen to me through all this stuff. So a quick recap on everything on that I said. So from a distance, focus on the inner ring if you're not zoomed in. Don't peg your 6. It kind of helps you with calming down, like, focusing your shot. Don't just jerk your stick everywhere. That kind of sounded nasty, but don't just flick your stick everywhere. Number 3, pacing kind of goes with calming down, to slowing down your shot, letting your crosshair go on the person, then shoot them, instead of just spamming your bullets everywhere, because that will just make you have a terrible accuracy. But if you pace your shots, you will shoot very high accuracy with the Magnum. Because like I said before, all the accuracy is in Halo 5 is how many bullets you put out over how many bullets you hit. And the more bullets the less bullets you put out in general, it's better. You don't want to hit the most shots you want to hit the most shots you possibly can with the least amount of bullets. I think that's what I'm trying to say. So next one is strafe without leaving the ground so early in a gunfight. I recommend you just stay on the ground for most of your gunfight at the beginning, then kind of leaving the ground if you're about a quarter shields or if you really feel like you're about to die. What is it? Also, don't jump at the start of gunfights at all, because this is easy shots for them to put on you, and it's really hard shots for you to put on them. Number 5, aim for the upper chest or the widest part of that person you can see at that moment. And then number 6 is pre-aiming an area. Put your cursor somewhere before they're even there, or if you get a call out, or if you think a guy's there, just put your cursor there and kind of hover it there, and then they'll walk right into it when they turn the corner. And number 7 is really believe in your shot, guys. I don't even want to sound arrogant. You have to believe that you could shoot as well as these pro players. I feel like even the pros, I feel like some of the pros will tell you that it's not necessarily their shots. Like, sure, they all have great shots, but their decision making is what makes them pros. But I feel like a lot of people have on Halo 5 do have great shots. I feel like some people on Halo 5 have amazing shots, just as good as the pros. But it's their decision making that makes them different from the pros. So don't think the pros and like Snipe Down and all them are some like they can never miss and stuff like that, because they can, obviously. But don't act like that's not unattainable for you. You gotta really believe in yourself and believe that you could hit just as many shots as them, and that helped me a lot. And it really helped me improve my accuracy to their level, and shooting just as well. And that's pretty much it. I know I'm probably gonna get like, I have a feeling one day I'm gonna get like out pistoled or something. Someone's gonna leave a comment saying those aiming tips didn't help you there. And that's one thing I want to say at the end of the day. You can't win every gunfight, man. Like, you're not gonna win everything. I feel like I win most of my gunfights now. It's gonna be extremely hard for you to win all your gunfights. Sometimes there's connection. Sometimes you just missed a shot. Sometimes you didn't drink water that day. I'm not even joking. Drinking water and stuff, and just staying hydrated and staying focused and not being angry while you play, it helps so much. Just improving your accuracy in general, and for me at least. Just playing calm, stuff like that. But you're not gonna win necessarily all your gunfights. You know, you just want to try winning most of them, at least like, you know, 70% of them. I would say that's a great number to have. Honestly, as long as you're winning more than 50% of your gunfights, I feel like you're a good Halo player, a solid Halo player. So that's pretty much it for the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Whew, that was a long video. I hope I explained that well. I had a long day in school, so I may like mumble over my words. I may have just been talking in circles for some parts of that. So if you guys need any more clarifications, please like tweet me, send me a message on Xbox, leave a comment down below. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm out. Peace.
Throwing grenade. Positive hit.
Double kill.